Thanks for joining us here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you stopping by as we have the latest on the salary cap situation for the Kansas City Chiefs, as we have some huge news to get to on the salary cap front. We'll talk about that here on today's show. Let's go ahead and go over the latest numbers for you, and we're going to show you what the experts, the sites that cover this closely, what the numbers they're projecting where Kansas City's at right now. Let's start with the folks at OverTheCap.com. They are saying that the Chiefs have about $11.54 million in cap space at this point in time. And Spotrac, who also does the same thing as OverTheCap.com in the offseason tabulations, they think that the Chiefs have a little bit more than that, about $12.4 million. So that's a difference, very minimal, about $900,000 between the two. So an average, if we put the two numbers together, has the Chiefs cap space at about $11.97 million at this point. So with that being said, then the next question becomes, all right, if Kansas City has $11.97 million, what does that mean? Where does that put them in position at this point in free agency and ahead of the draft and all that? Well, on average, most teams in the draft spend about $10 million on their draft picks. And Kansas City, with having 8 draft picks right now, would fall in line with that $10 million average. But it is worth noting that history tells us that the Kansas City Chiefs in the past have not always used every pick that they have, that in the past they've either packaged picks to move up or that they have shipped picks out to stockpile on picks for the future and have extra picks going forward from there. So when it's all said and done, there's a pretty decent chance the Chiefs won't even select 8 total players from their 8 picks in this draft, but obviously we won't know till we know. But that number, about $10 million, is at least a good starting point. So let's take those numbers. If you have, let's say, $11.97 million in cap space, and then you subtract the $10 million from that of what you're going to use in the draft, that leaves you with about $2 million left over from one more free agent signing at this point, which would give you a player that would be above the league minimum and somebody that, in theory, you would hope would be like a veteran quality player that maybe isn't necessarily looking to get paid, but would like the chance to pursue a Super Bowl ring and get that opportunity in Kansas City. That's kind of the player you're looking for with that little amount of money. But here's the positive for the folks out there, all right? I know it doesn't sound like much when we break that all down, but there is more money on the way. And we'll explain what exactly that means and where the money is coming from in just a moment. Before we do, if you want the Chiefs to spend money, get active, Brett. Start writing those checks. Then like the video. If not, if you're content, you're like, things are okay. Let's just build through the draft and roll with what we got. If you feel that way, comment and tell me why. Like the video if you want to spend money. If not, comment and tell me why you're content with where the Chiefs are at right now. So, here is how they can get more money. Let's start with Creed Humphrey. Got that extension in the preseason. He's not going anywhere. But the Chiefs can restructure him. We already know they restructured Chris Jones and Patrick Mahomes, and that was great. But there's still more guys they can restructure and open up more cash. Creed Humphrey, you restructure him, you get $4.13 million. Jawaan Taylor, you restructure him as he enters the last year of his deal. There's another 2.6 you can potentially save. But that's not all. Travis Kelce, we expect his deal to get reworked. And many people believe this will be Travis Kelce's final season in Kansas City. You restructure him, there's another $6.4 million. And then Drue Tranquill, if you restructure him, there's another $5 million that you can save. So just like that, without cutting anybody, without trading anybody, just in the restructures, we have been able to save an additional $18.13 million that we have found for Brett Veach to be able to spend. So then, if we take the average number that we had from the Spotrac and OverTheCap.com number, and we combine that with the restructures that we just found that we're recommending here, then you're looking at a projected cap number of $30.1 million all of a sudden. Isn't that crazy how quickly, snap, that changed? $30 million just like that. And then you, of course, have the $10 million going to the draft, and you're in pretty good shape. Now you're cooking all of a sudden. Now you say, okay, this is a pretty good roster as is. It's going to get better and younger through the draft. And then you got $20 more million left at your disposal for additional free agent signings potentially with that $20 million. And obviously there's other things that you could do with the $20 million. We still know that you got to figure out Trent McDuffie's situation. You got some other players like Karlaftis that are going to be looking for extensions here pretty soon too. But nonetheless, you can find the financial flexibility. It is sitting there. The Chiefs just need to jump on it and create that opportunity to do so. So with that said, knowing that there is money on the way, even if it looks like the Chiefs don't have a ton of money right now, who is a player you want the Chiefs to sign? Get in the comment section. Give me a name. Your chance to be Brett Veach. Put your GM hat on. Let us know who that player is. Today's show is sponsored by GameTime. GameTime is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. GameTime makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the GameTime app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. GameTime takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. GameTime is the official ticketing partner of the Chiefs Report. They offer last-minute deals where you can save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater productions, and more. GameTime Picks makes last-minute ticket buying even easier than ever by quickly highlighting the best deals in the stadium. They have their zone deals where you can save even more when you choose a section and let GameTime choose the seats. They have their all-in pricing. You toggle this feature and it'll show the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. They have their seat views where you can get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you even buy. The lowest price is guaranteed, or GameTime will credit you 110% of the difference. The GameTime ticket coverage includes your purchase being covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Now, I got to tell you, from my own experience with GameTime, I've saved a lot of money with GameTime, and it's so simple, fast, and easy. Even a bozo like me can get tickets pretty cost efficient. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. You choose your seat. And just like that, you're checking out on GameTime, Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Maybe it's Royals games. Maybe you want to go see Sporting KC or the Current, whatever it may be. By the way, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. He was saying KC, we're now a Current town, that they've taken over ahead of Sporting KC, which is crazy that we've gotten to that point. But shout out to the Current for what they've been doing. Check out GameTime today. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, use code ChatSports, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download the GameTime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Now, we went into this offseason and people were in full-on panic mode. You would have thought that the Chiefs were having to pay a bunch of tariffs or something. The cap isn't as bad as what some had thought entering 2025, as the cap went up higher than expected. And credit where credit's due to Brett Veach for navigating this situation. And I'll say this, the roster, where it's at right now, is pretty good. And it's only going to get better with what's ahead in the draft and then potentially more free agent signings and trades to go from there. And I believe, and I know that some people aren't going to agree with me on this, I think this team is going to be better than last year's team. And they have to be, because last year's team wasn't good enough to win the Super Bowl. They need to improve if they're going to take that next step and win the Super Bowl title. And I have every indication, every reason to think that they are on the right track at this point going forward from here. If you enjoyed today's show, hit that like button. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.